We're live. Happy World Fringe Day.
Happy World Fringe. Yay.
Kelly and Jill, both in Canada. Kelly from Toronto Fringe and Jill from the Canadian Association of Fringe Festivals. Introduce yourselves.
Well, hello, I'm Kelly Strawn, and I'm the Executive Director of the Toronto Fringe Festival and the President of the Canadian Association of Fringe Festivals. So we are in the middle of the Toronto Fringe, like literally the middle, day 6 of 12 days. So I was just saying to Jill, if my hair looks frazzled, that's why.
You look amazing.
Because I got 3 hours sleep last night. So, yeah.
You look great.
So how's it going?
Oh, so great. Great. Like it's maybe, I want to knock on wood, might be one of our highest selling festivals, if not the highest selling festivals. So that's exciting to see so many people coming out and seeing theater. We have a new Fringe Central Hub. We went to a new location in Toronto, so that's been working out well. Again, knock on wood. So I think it's going to be like a festival to remember. So I hesitate saying those things, then I'll jinx it and it'll be 6 days of rain.
You'll be fine.
So far, so good. Yeah.
You'll be great.
Cool.
And Jill, what are you up to? Where are you?
I'm in Edmonton. So I'm the administrator for the Canadian Association of Fringe Festivals, former executive director of Edmonton, and really no stranger to Fringe in general. I've been working with Fringe and theaters for 1 year 17 now.
Wow. Long time.
About his ages. Yeah, almost as long as me. So, Kelly, mid-festival, you said how it's going, but it's exhausting and brilliant in equal measures. What for you has been the highlight so far?
The highlight so far has been, so in this new Fringe club that we have started a Fringe music series where we're bringing local bands. We have never done this before, bring local bands and see if we actually get audiences that don't normally come to the Fringe. So on the Friday night, we had this band called Yasgur's Farm, and it was the most rockin', amazing night where there was, people of all ages dancing on the dance floor. We had some local community people who just walked in wondering what was happening. We had our regular Fringers. It was it was one of those special nights that, it kind of like at certain points I thought, I'm going to start crying. This is so beautiful. We imagined it this way and it's being realized in that way. So far that's been, my big, lovely night was seeing just everyone really enjoying themselves with this music series.
Yeah, right. That sounds amazing. And Jill, what about you? Can you tell us what has been going in all of the Fringes in Canada? The whole lot.
The whole lot. Well, we're halfway through our summer season, right? So, as you know, we, with the exception of Frigid in New York that happens in February, we go festival. So we are right, almost in the middle. I would say give us about the end of July to be exactly in the middle. And we have gone through Orlando, Ottawa Fringe has happened, Montreal Fringe has happened, London Fringe has happened, Port Fringe. I'm going to miss a whole bunch of them. Storefront is a new one in Kingston. Yeah. And we keep going. So we've landed on Toronto. We only have Toronto going on this week.
Yeah.
And then it picks up again.
An exclusive period for you, Kelly.
Yeah. Yeah, it's nice actually. When we had Chuck from Winnipeg Fringe, he came out, he showed up, he's a week before his Fringe or 2 weeks before his Fringe, and he came and hung out in Toronto. So it was great to see him.
It's amazing. Good old Chuck.
He's cool, isn't he?
Yeah, that is really good. So for you guys, what do you find is so special about Fringe? Different kind of programs and international festivals. What is the essence of Fringe for you, if you could sum it up?
I mean, it is the non-curated aspect. It's what we all stand behind as Fringes. And I think prior to coming to the Fringe and taking this job, I didn't realize the incredible power that is, that it brings so many diverse people together with all different ideas, you know, different ideas about what art is and what they, you know, what matters to them. And so it's not that all the art is great, but even in the ones that aren't great, there are people that I see, you know, become avid audience members, that become donors at other theaters, that, you know, it really gets them into the theater scene, as it were. So that I never anticipated that, you know, taking this job was just the power of non-curation.
Yeah, so important for audiences, important for performers in equal measures.
And that everyone feels, they truly feel they're part of the community. They feel the Fringe is theirs. And that, you know, throughout the festival, I do hear a lot, you know, because people feel it's theirs. I get a lot of feedback of people telling me how I can improve things or what they love or what they don't love. I mean, I'm right there with them experiencing the festival. So that is also very unique.
So immediate feedback as well.
Immediate. Yeah, and really, for better or for worse, you do get lovely. I mean, people are so supportive, but then also, you know, I feel like in real time I get to experience the festival with people. They haven't, you know, they feel like it's theirs, so they have access to me and to my team.
Yeah, totally.
Cool.
Yeah. What about you, Jill? Can you sum up kind of how you interact with Fringe festivals and what's so special about?
Well, and I'm going to kind of put my Edmonton hat on and a CAFF hat on here because as you know, Edmonton was the first Fringe in North America, started in '82 by Brian Paisley. And what was happening here at Edmonton at the time was we had the big regional theater that had artistic directors that were coming from overseas, not from Canada, because we didn't have an established Canadian theater scene really that was trusted and grown at that point. We had a few theater companies that were professional, that were doing a little bit of local work, but even then they were in their infancy. So they were maybe 5-6 years old in that kind of realm. And what was happening in Edmonton is that there was no place for anybody to be able to experiment, to do their own work, to tell their own stories. You had groups of artists that had nowhere to perform. And that was where the idea came to borrow from the Edinburgh Fringe and have an open access festival. And even from the very beginning, it was pushed to have Fringe, that, you know, the one, our you know, all of the box office goes back to the artist concept, started at the very beginning because they wanted the artists to be supported. And I still feel that that is such a critical part of what we do in Fringe. It's why we have CAFF. It's what, you know, it's why we have the tenants that we do, is to truly support the artists in being able to create this platform and this ground that is uncurated, that is welcome to everybody, that is a real learning ground for the arts. And as a result, we've got a much more established and robust theater scene because of it.
Yeah. So we talk to lots of artists, obviously, and we run panel talks for artists to talk about the Fringe festivals that they've been to. And whenever anyone talks about the Canadian Association of Fringe Festivals and the tour that you can do from one side of Canada to the other, people kind of go glossy-eyed, and they just feel so great about it, and they go to this other place that they just enjoy.
Feel so supported, and they have such a good time, and do okay, and you know.
Can you tell us more, either of you, tell us more about the CAFF tour that people can get on?
Jill, do you want to talk? I feel like Jill now is heading up all of the administration side of it. So I don't know if you want to talk about how fun it is to organize that.
As you know, but if you don't know, we do a lottery for national artists, meaning Canadian, and international artists, meaning anybody not Canadians. And we try to draw between 8 to 10 groups a year. And how it works is if you win the lottery, you need to sign up for a minimum of 5 fringes, but you can pick basically a tour that starts at one end of the country and goes to the other end of the country. And so each of the festivals organized through CAFF basically allow for we know how many spots that they've got set aside for touring groups. And so then we help navigate and build the tour. But you can spend your entire summer going from festival to festival to festival to festival, and you're guaranteed a spot. So you know where you're going. You actually build your own itinerary. You do work with the individual festivals once you've selected them, but we help organize that.
Yeah, amazing. Cool.
Yeah. The one stipulation we do have is you have to have done a CAFF festival before to enter the lottery as an international company. The reason is because it's so popular.
Yeah, I didn't know that, actually. That's a new fact for me. I should pass that nugget of wisdom on. Yeah, it's such an incredible opportunity for people, isn't it? Because the Fringe festivals also range hugely. They're so diverse from one to another. Is there anything that you want to say about their diversity?
I think that in terms of the diversity of festivals, we have the big ones like Edmonton, where the staff, and it's like being at, I don't know, like a large fair, like a world fair. It's quite wild to be there. And then there's small weekend ones that are run by volunteers, and that they, sometimes are under 5 years old, and that they're run by a dedicated group. And so it's interesting when we get together as a group of festivals, that we have certain groups where that is their primary concern, is how do you become sustainable, and what are some of the steps? And then the more medium-sized festivals can help those small ones make some key changes to, be sustainable. And then the large ones are really ones everybody sort of looks up and aspires to, and you can really see how the Fringe is so powerful in communities that it can just become the thing that the one piece of theater that people see all year is at the Fringe Festival, because it's so exciting and so great. So it's really lovely to see that kind of runs the gamut from small to large.
Yeah, that is amazing. And if people wanted to apply to them, do they just come onto the CAFF website, or how do performers?
How does it work?
Yeah, how does it work?
The touring lottery they do have to do through the CAFF website, but then the individual festivals, and they can click on the links through the CAFF website, but they have to go to each festival's individual website. The information is there on the CAFF website. Then they click through, because each festival has sort of different requirements, and some have gone, like Toronto, we are fully online, and some, still there's a mix of, mailing in, signing up online, that kind of stuff. And for most, there is what we call a lottery fee. It's sort of an admin fee where you pay. For us, it's $28.50 to enter the lottery, and that confirms your spot.
Amazing. And also, sometimes the lotteries are drawn literally out of a hat in a pub somewhere and live streamed. Who does that?
That's what we do, yeah. Although we can't do a hat anymore. I was so disappointed when I came here, because I'd heard for years they do it out of a hat. Then my first lottery, I said, this isn't a hat, this is a big Tupperware bin. Because it got so big that they needed one of those big, like, moving bins, and we throw it in. Although now we put like this nice, shiny material over it before we shake it.
Make it special.
It's very fringy. And so it's about 2 hours of just drawing numbers.
Amazing.
And then, and we had 730 companies apply for 165 slots. So the odds are the people at the party aren't winning. So we get 2 big cakes that we call consolation cake. And then the people who don't get into the festival get a piece of consolation cake.
Oh, that's nice. And when is the next opening for people to apply?
It varies. Yeah, go ahead, Jill. Yeah,
it all starts basically, start watching the social media feeds already in August. The CAFF will open up in September for the touring lottery. And then it just kind of follows for the next 6 months, depending on the festival. So
amazing.
Cool.
So we're gonna love you and leave you now, and wish you a very happy World Fringe Day. If you would like to part us with any Fringe wisdom, then you can.
I do have a little plug for something we're doing today. So World Fringe Day at 7 p.m. That's Eastern Standard Time. We, in our Fringe Club, we are live streaming Happy Birthday World Fringe. So we have a whole bunch of Fringers there. I'm going to lead the Happy Birthday song. We have party hats. So that's, people can tune in and see us live stream.
Oh, I love it. We should be checking in on that one, definitely. How about you, Jill? Do you want to leave us with some wisdom?
Thank you so much for doing this. This has been great. I've been watching you guys all day and sharing it as much as we can. And, you know, it's really bringing the world together. So thank you and happy World Fringe Day.
Oh, thank you very much.
Happy World Fringe.
Take care. Happy birthday.